claim your free AirPods today by clicking the first link in the description down below.
r/AskReddit. What secret do you know that could destroy someone? Acquaintance intentionally screwed with his wife's birth control to get her pregnant because he figured the kid would keep her busy while he's sleeping around. Turns out he genuinely loves being a dad and said the kid is the best thing that has ever happened to him. His wife was sleeping around when he did it, and there's a 50% chance the kid isn't his. They sound like a perfect match. I just feel bad for the kid having two tools like that for parents. I don't know, cheating is awful, but I would 1000x rather have someone cheat on me than sabotage my birth control. One, this is distressing. The other one is technically a battery, it's doing something to your body that you don't control. Just gives me the willies. Really. Also, I just don't think I ever want to be pregnant / give birth. So take this with a grain of salt. My best friend's mom had a baby when we were in middle school. We are all white. This is relevant. My best friend's stepdad is white. She's white. The mom's white. Everyone is white. And this baby comes out looking very Apache. Mom laughs it off as haha, we have some Native American blood in our line that came out. Dad is oblivious or in denial. Small town and no one says anything. Anyways, in middle school my other best friend and I fixed all the school's computer systems. We got called to do a bus driver's computer because it crashed. Lol and behold, he has a picture of the surprise Native American baby on his desk. She looks exactly like him. Me and this friend have never told a soul that we know who the real daddies. TL. Doctor, I know who's the daddy. It's the bus driver. Edit. I do realize the phrase is lo and behold. However, I'm immobile and far too lazy to redirect the fun grammatical error. Edit again. I have no idea why the bus driver had a desk with a computer. He also did maintenance at the school. Maybe it had something to do with that. Last edit. It's not John Ridcon. King of the Hill eye roll. No amount of pocket sand could fix this. A friend of mine was so desperate for a baby. After a year of trying with her long-term boyfriend, she started sleeping around until she got pregnant. The boyfriend doesn't have a clue, and she is now playing happy families with him and her 2-year-old son. Edit. Just a few things to address. I stopped being friends with her when she started cheating. I'm not the only person that knew about it. I haven't spoken to her or her family in 3 years. The boyfriend isn't on Facebook, and I haven't got a phone number for him. I wish I had told him at the beginning. But I had a lot of it going on in my own life at the time to deal with. I have been going back and forth on it for a while, but don't know what to do for the best. There are definitely better alternatives to conceive other than cheating on your boyfriend. Jesus, what a runt. Sperm bank. Lara doesn't have a seizure disorder. Lara is a drug addict. Lara from reception? No. That's Janice from accounting. Grandma buys pre-made cookie dough. I like how the truth could ruin her. Well, I guess that's it. Grandma, you can't make cookies. So it's off to the nursing home with you. We no longer require your baking. Grandma. She was texting when she crossed the intersection and killed the motorcyclist. This is why I have no remos or respect for people who text. Ducking itch. How she feel? How she feel? She feel bad. My teenage crush took it really badly when I stopped being interested in him and spent a while trying to sabotage everything I did, including talking to teachers to try to shut down multiple student organizations I was in. It's been a long time, but we are still not each other's #1 fans. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm pretty sure his very Christian fiance who is waiting for marriage to have X and thinks he is too wouldn't be too thrilled to know about the time when he spent a year hooking up with gay men who he met by posting peen pics on 8chan. Are you my XGF? Cause if you're not, this must be a common scenario lol. Damn, I wouldn't have admitted to a similar situation. Might not destroy anyone, but still seems like a big secret. I know a couple who make comments about having a baby together. Mostly the guy saying stuff about it. She had her tubes tied or whatever years ago. Not a problem. My mom's tubes were tied when I was conceived. Dad has one nut. Damn. Those sperm were an army intent to conquer. Do you have Mongolian in you by chance? My best friend has a secret daughter from a one-night stand. She's over 20 years old now. His family still has no idea. She tried a couple times to contact him, but he told her to duck off. My best friend is a cock. Hey, must be coincidence. But my best friend is my cock. Too. Mine is too. But we have an abusive relationship. I beat him often. He uses a lobby computer to cheat on his wife online. I don't need to destroy him because he's getting fired for actually harassing our boss. So that works out. Edit. Damn it guys, way to make a secret my top post. Sounds like an overall decent guy. Smart. Too. Guy badly misunderstood the concept of sleeping your way to the top. He's in a relationship with a woman, but keeps asking me to meet. I deny him. I'm a guy. Maybe he just wants to play Super Smash Bros? Is that what we are calling it now? A girl I know got gangbanged by 3 of her cousins while all of them were wasted. AWW. What a close-knit family. A close-knit family called it for my porn title. Abduct her brother. OMG, I'm seeing a girl named Abby and she has a brother. What state is this in? Wait. I'm seeing a girl named Abby and she's my sister. Is she cheating on me? Bob is married with 3 children. His oldest is in college. Bob and his wife have been married for 18 years. Bob is gay. Always has been. He wanted a family. He no longer wants to pretend to be straight, but has no idea how to break the news to his family. Edit. This thread is full of supportive people. I understand Bob will break the news. It's a matter of when. He already told his parents a few years ago. I'm not Bob. When I read this AskReddit, this is the first thing I thought of. If I went out of my way to break this secret, it could potentially destroy 5 Someoones. Posts like this make me glad that my ex left me. I found my dad's adult friend finder, username and password. He's still married to my mom. Maybe your parents are swingers or into verism. I made an account when I was in my early 20s. 99% of the responsive profiles were for verism, that is, bang my wife while I watch, and sharing wives/husbands. I cancelled my subscription. Verism, that is, bang my wife while I watch. That's not what that's called. I'd say what it's actually called, but for fear of summoning the Donald. My good friend Joshua told everyone he had a family problem and that's why he had to miss weeks of school. Turns out he was addicted to sniffing shampoo and his parents made him see a psychotherapist to see if he had any mental problems. Lol, just had an image of some dude snorting Head and Shoulders shampoo. Reddit makes me not want to trust anyone. Millions of people visit this site. Most of them saw this question and had no story to tell. You're hearing exclusively from the small number of people who could and wanted to. That's the selection effect. It's like if you went to Walmart and said duck. People are so trashy. Well yeah, you were at Walmart. Buck up. Most of the world's not a Walmart. The reason my dad wasn't there right away for my mom when her dad died was because he was with another woman. How did you find out? Well, I had suspected from the beginning because he wasn't picking up his phone. He was a valet at the time, so it wasn't uncommon because sometimes he'd be running back from dropping off a car at the lot and wouldn't feel the call. So I called his work so they could tell him to check his phone, but they said he wasn't working that day. Curiosity got the best of me and I decided to check his phone the next day and saw a text message about meeting up with this woman he worked with at his other job. He was with her and told me and my mom he was working. My parents' marriage was falling apart at that point, but I love and respect both my parents too much to ever tell her I know. Even though they are divorced now, I know it would break her heart to find that out. Especially since that woman he was with is now my stepmom. Daniel doesn't have narcolepsy. Daniel is a heroin addict. Finds out after dating him for 2 years. As someone who used to be addicted to dope, I was always amazed how people outside of the drug world are fairly oblivious to it and will believe some bullshit even when it's completely obvious you're addicted. Nah, you just think they believe it. My brother is straighty 180 and he laughs telling stories of how he'd see junkies obviously on the nod and they'd be like, oh I just worked a night shift etc. Obvious as duck they're on the gear to everyone but them. An acquaintance of mine, semi-friend / overlapping social circles, is a second-year university professor and is dating one of his freshman students. He's in his late 20s. Doesn't have tenure yet. And I couldn't care less about the morality of it, she's of age. But the conflict of interest thing is a real risk to his career. Depends on the university. This happens all the time. I think the real issue is that she's actually in several of his classes / will be for the foreseeable future. And were it exposed it would be an inconvenience to the university. ESP given its religious affiliation. My impression is that unis these days don't bat an eye about canning and tenured profs if they're a pain. Just get an adjunct. Friend of mine knocked up a one-night stand in college. We were all friends. And she decided not to tell him. Both are happily married with kids with their new spouses. Except one of her kids is my friend's and not her husband's. So did she and her husband get together soon after, or did she cheat? It was several years later when she married her current husband. Obviously the new husband knows the child isn't his. But my friend still doesn't know he has an additional child. For about a year nobody in my department was getting paid for exactly one lunch per week. See, our students go out into the community once a week, and on those days we were never given a lunch break. I didn't realize until the end of the year that our pay stubs did not reflect this extra hour of work. Had my entire department in my school, not whole district, write out a full year's worth of vouchers and submit them to be paid. Roughly $400 / person. It was tonight, as I expected. But the next week the district started demanding we get scheduled lunches for that day each week. We never pursued anything after this point for some reason. Didn't want to be bothered. Anyway. Fast forward to the summer, when I emailed ours about a completely unrelated issue. Our lady was a huge itch, and in the email for some reason she dropped a nice piece of evidence against herself. You were specifically told not to voucher for unpaid lunch days throughout the year and were told stuff pertaining to the issue I emailed about. I don't really want to start hit, because even though I get paid crap for my job I do like the people I work with. I imagine if I put in a complaint with the state with that specific piece of evidence I could probably get her easily fired. Edit. It's amazing to me how many people are actually cursing me out and calling me completely hitty things for being a victim of bullshit. Good job. Not to mention everyone who has been not getting paid for those lost hours would get paid. That hit's illegal as duck. You have protections, however flimsy, as a whistleblower. And you'd $400 bucks. For $400 dollars, I'd blow a dude named Whistle. My buddy made out with another buddy's mom at a bonfire while the husband was out of town. This was a year after high school. Upper management doesn't know how incompetent my boss is. He delivers results only because all people in department is super ethical and work hard. He is a good guy, but doesn't know anything about the job or how to be a good leader. But it's changing. We all are looking for jobs anywhere. Last week a mate left, and if everything goes good today I will probably leave too. After 2 more resigns it will be hard to not notice. I'm in the same situation, except it's 2 bosses deep. To make things worse, the last 6 years I've been working over my position, because our team needed someone in that higher position. Except we were never given a slot at that pay scale. I do the job for 6 years with the understanding that when we would finally get the slot I'd be promoted into it. A month ago we get the slot and my useless boss promotes a guy I trained 3 years ago into it because he was willing to cover 2 hours of my boss's shift and let him leave work early. Needless to say I no longer do any work outside of my specific job description and am looking for a new job. Yeah, I would be out of that gig. GL on the search. One of my cousins. Basically, the dad who raised him isn't his dad. My aunt is a cheating itch who slept with one of my dad's brothers. The first clue was, well, we look like brothers, not cousins. Our fathers are brothers, mothers are sisters. Secondly is when my uncle killed himself. He wrote a suicide letter, obviously, and only my grandmother was allowed to read it. That's where he spilled the beans. My grandmother told my mother because she thought it was only right. My mom is great at keeping secrets. Unfortunately, she's also got a habit of keeping a diary. I unfortunately had a habit of reading said diary around Christmas/birthdays to find out what she bought for me. Whoops. Edit. Apparently I confused some people. So let me try to re-explain. Mom and aunt are sisters. Mom is married to dad. Aunt is married to Uncle George. Aunt slept with dad's brother, Uncle Steve. Aunt had a baby that looked eerily similar to me. Mom had a suspicion and at one point grilled dad because, well, she was kind of bothered at me and cousin looked eerily similar. We looked similar because our moms are blood sisters and fathers are blood brothers. Hope that helped. So your aunt slept with your uncle and was impregnated with your cousin? I read it a few times but can't figure it out.